I'll just give you the rules of the podcast. So get used to it. So guess what? This is called order, right? Men create order. This is my platform, so there's a hierarchy to things. It's my rules, so if I set the rules and you follow the rules, right? When you have your own podcast and you invite me on, you set the rules and I follow those rules. Life isn't hierarchy.
You's a bitch, nigga. Oh, my
Did you ever think that? Say that to my face, man. You welcome here. I have you. I have you on.
Where you at?
I have you on, bro.
Smash this stuff.
Listen, actually, here's what I'll do for you. I've been waiting for someone like you.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I'll send you out here. This nigga looking sweet as cheese. How you over here trying to act hard when you get your eyebrows done every day? This nigga looking sweet. This nigga sweet as pie with that little chain on.
Look at him thinking about it. Look at him thinking about it.
Squinching his eyes. What's in your eye? Why you keep squinching your eyes like that? Trying to have the light skin look. Yeah. Come on, bro. Calm down with all that, nigga. Let's have a regular discussion. You making that hominem a text.
I was just sent this content in my men's development community. There's actually a link to it in the description box down below if you guys are interested in transformation, self-transformation, self-development. Go down there, click on that link and beam up. Nevertheless, I was just sent this link and I began to watch this video and I just cannot believe what is going on here. So we're going to react to, we're going to commentate, we're going to be able to go over it. First and foremost, shout out to Cooley from the No Fugazi podcast. This brother just recently had a conversation with a male feminist. And let me just say this, is that when I think about the degeneracy within our society today, when I see these weak versions of men with an understanding of their manhood, their masculinity, this guy is an extreme example of that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pick apart his points and positions, as well as highlight the destruction that is committed by some of these single mothers to these young men, while demonstrating the lies that they have been fed, which gives them no power within their manhood, while also teaching them to instinctively simp to any woman that is a woman for simply being a woman, not based off of her actions, not based off of her behavior, but just because. But let's get after it and let's go over it. So without further ado.
All right, man. So you said that basically when we peel back all the layers, the black woman is God. Before, I'm just repeating back what you said to let you know that I understood exactly what you said. You said, as you know, before we've adopted the thinking and ideologies of God, how we know it now, before that, or even if we take it away, we would see that the black woman is actually truly God. That's what you said, right?
Now, to think such a statement is true, you would think that a person has evidence to prove it. Even if they don't have direct evidence, they formed a hypothesis and they can use different data or arguments in order to prove that the way that they think is accurate. Let's listen.
Okay. Now, where does the father, my question for you is, where does the man come in? Where does the father or the man come into this picture? The black man or any man?
All right. Now, regards to the father is a social construct that has nothing to do with nature. So somebody made up this whole father aspect. Man is something totally different. You grow into the man, but we go through stages in life to get to a man. So in regards to me, I had to go from an embryo, you know what I'm saying, to an infant, to a toddler, teenager, young adult, and then I graduated into a man. So when we're talking about those two terms, you know, you got to go to get to a man. And then when you're talking about a father, there's nowhere that there's a father in nature. So a father would be unnatural. That's just something to compete with the woman.
I've never seen a man as confidently wrong about something. So fatherhood is a social construct. Hey, child support office, all of these fathers over here, they're really not fathers. It's a social construct. You have socially constructed that they have to pay for 18 years of this young person's life. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe the brother has some far off knowledge that we all have no idea about. Let him explain himself on how a woman having a child that is proven to be mine is a social fabrication that has nothing to do with biology.
Okay, so you're saying that the father is unnatural, but the woman is natural.
Correct.
Do I have that correct? And you're saying
correct.
The reason why, you really didn't give a reason why the father would be unnatural. So what's your reasoning that the father is unnatural? Explain, give me some logic, however you could.
Right.
You know,
the logic was nature. I said that there was not a father found in nature. There's nowhere in nature that you can find a father. You have a male. So at the end of the day, there's no father. Father is a social construct. That's something to put itself into existence to be opposite of the mother. But there's no such thing really as a father.
Can you explain how the father is a social construct?
It's a social construct due to the fact is you're talking about a label that's being placed on a man being a father. Can you be a father at 12 years old?
Yes.
I mean, I think I had when I was 12 years old, man. So
okay,
you could be a father when you're 12 years old. You could have definitely planted your seed in something. Yes.
I really like how this brother is setting up these questions. What I would have asked differently to King Knowledge, which is an absolute oxymoron, is that if fatherhood is a social construct, what makes it so that motherhood is not a social construct? Because if he's saying that it was just created to be opposite of the mother, what are the things in motherhood that makes it valid biologically that does not make it valid for a man? This is the type of male feminist that calls the woman God, as if a man is not necessary for her to be pregnant. No matter how hard you try to be a male feminist, more of them not going to fuck you, bro.
Let's just go with, do you think there's any differences between men and women?
It's kind of like you're trying to be condescending to the point where you have no comprehension. Like, you don't have no comprehension in what I'm saying to you in a response to the point where you can't fathom it. What do you mean?
No.
I don't understand what you. Then you go to the next question after you sit there and tell me that you didn't understand shit. Like not
understand.
Like, we gonna turn this into. Is this some type of entertainment or something? I'm just asking you.
Watch. Pay
I
attention.
thought it was about the black woman as God. I don't know you.
Well,
I didn't research
watch his
you.
emotions.
I just came over here because. Okay. So what are we doing?
He's already trying to gaslight the host into saying that he's being condescending. He's already using foul language. You're beginning to see how these single mother raised men are incapable of controlling their emotions enough to have a conversation with a true man.
We'll speak in detail. What we're doing is having a discussion man to man. Right? Mm-hmm. You just said that the man is a social construct.
I said the father is. You're saying that the man is a father. Right.
Okay,
let's just two things. You asked me about the man and the father.
You said, well, that, because the father is, not from nature. And I want you to explain.
Yes.
How isn't the father not from nature?
Look.
That's what I want you to do.
He got no answer.
I want you to explain how it's a social construct and it's not from nature. Because here's what I'll tell you. Nothing grows unless a seed is planted. Nothing grows on this planet unless a seed is planted. And every man holds the seed in them. Every man holds the seed of life form. Life form in us.
Right.
In your sack, if you have enough testosterone, but I know in my sack, I got at least 80 million of them little niggas moving around in there. You know what I'm saying?
Look.
Most men do with a good amount of testosterone. So therefore we have seed and the life form starts there. You won't have a plant if you don't plant a seed first. So you saying that a father is a social construct is a lie is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Get to dispute the point that the father doesn't hold the seed. So we plant the seed in a woman and then life grows from that. Women bring about life. The life form is actually in a man. So explain to me again how the father is a social construct when the father holds the seed and a woman holds nothing but eggs. She's waiting for a seed.
Okay.
You sound,
please explain.
You don't make sense, man. Let me hear you.
Yeah.
You haven't given me a chance to make sense. You're wrong.
Okay.
And you're wrong in the way to sit there and say that the sperm is a seed. How could you have...
No, what he's saying is that the sperm is not a social construct.
Seeds running up and through your body. That makes no sense. A seed is not a fucking tadpole with a tail. That's not a seed. So in regards to it, you're wrong. Now, if you're talking about an apple seed or orange seed,
I'm wrong, though.
Listen, an avocado seed or whatever the case may be, now we can get into the comparison on how the woman gives the man the whole body, the construct, the brain, the lungs, the face, the skin. She's creating a child within a womb. So she gives him the penis too. Did you forget that she gave him the sperm? So
can you explain in a scientific way, from a biological way, how doesn't a man hold the seed in the life form?
Confidently incorrect, hood logic. One of the biggest issues ailing young men is their lack of education. You're a simple biology class away from not being a simp no more.
You're just speaking, but I need you to peel back the layer to things and give facts. This podcast is called No Fugazi. So if I'm speaking, I'm always going to speak with facts. So here's a fact for you. The woman doesn't determine the sex of the baby. She has an X chromosome. The man holds the X and the Y chromosome, right? So here's science, right? So when a man has sex with a woman, he dictates the sex of the baby. So you just said, where do you get a penis from? Where do you get this from? Where do you get that from? You get that from the man, since the man determines the sex of the baby. Do you get it? Women only hold the X chromosome. Men hold the X and a Y. That's scientifically facts that proves that what you just said is nonsense, and men do dictate the sex of the baby. So if he's dictating the sex of the baby, let's peel the layer back even further. That means that the man actually dictates how many men are going to be in this world, how many women are going to be in this world. The list goes on and on.
And what Cooley is saying is absolutely backed up by science. He's not saying this shit out of his ass. And this is how couples who are utilizing in vitro fertilization, IVF, are picking the genders of their babies, because the scientists are picking out the sperm that has the XY chromosome as opposed to the sperms that are just XX.
Your father dictated that you would have a beard. Your father dictated that you would have a beard and be a man, from what I could see. You get what I'm saying? Your mother didn't determine that. So you should be thanking your father, because your father truly created you. Anything for that, man? Scientifically, can you dispute what I said?
You sound uneducated, like to the point where this is so level of surface to the point.
God dang, man.
How could you sit here? I'm just asking you, like, how could you sit here and tell me that my father gave me what all males are females before they turn into a male based off the decision of the mother? Every male can look at their actual scrotum sac and see a line from the bottom of their scrotum sac to the tip of their penis. All male. That means you were sold up. Your testicles are nothing but your ovaries.
I'm beginning to think that this guy has a YouTube page where he just grifts on women instead of acknowledging or asking more questions about the truths that Cooley just spit to him. Instead, he chooses to get upset and spit more of his goofy bullshit in order to continue to grift to get weak women signed up to his platform or whatever it is that he's selling. Really, man? Sewed at your balls? That's the best that you can do?
Your penis is nothing but an elongated clitoris. At the end of the day, you're nothing but an inside-out female. I'm sorry that this man has never been told that, and he doesn't understand that he was made in the likeness and the image of his mother. I'm sorry that before anybody ever taught him anything, his mother was there. Your mother is literally the only thing that you know in life. You don't even know if that's your father, but your mother knows if it's your father or not. You know everything about your mother because that's where you came from. That's your first home. That's your first origin. The black woman has always been considered God, even before the patriarch took over and started to actually make a male God. But it was never a male that was being God. It was always the woman. In Islam, it was the woman. In the Catholic Church, it was the woman. In ancient Egypt, it was the woman. In Samaria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, it was the woman. Phoenicia was the woman. Chaldea was the woman. But if he doesn't know that, that means he's not reading. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to respond to the man, even to the point where if a woman is making up your whole total makeup and she's using her menstrual blood to do it within her womb, that's why you women don't bleed for 9 months. You literally coagulate a child in your womb. What does the man have to do with it? Is the man shooting blood in you, woman? Or is he literally giving you his DNA via his sperm? So when you're actually making this baby in your womb, you're using your blood. That's why you don't bleed for 9 months. When that baby comes out, that is a product of its mother. So the baby literally develops through life. As the baby develops through life, we get to puberty. That's when our body chemically starts to actually make the sperm in our body. But it came from our mother. Everything comes from your mother. You get it from your mother. Your mother is your God. Your father is not your God. The sperm in his body comes from his mother. Where do you think we got our body from? You didn't make this. You don't have nothing to do with your face. You don't have nothing to do with your head and none of that. Your mama gave that to you. She birthed you.
Wow.
How could you sit there and say that she's not your God? Your mother was God before you was taught about God. Somebody had to tell you about God in order for you to believe them. Now in your mind, that's God. But what if your mother knew she was God? She would teach you about God. How can a man be a God when he cannot produce life? A man cannot sustain life. He does not have breast milk.
Got you. You done or are you still going?
No, go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm respectful. So if you want to go and respond, you can go.
This guy's giving me fake pastor vibes that uses hood biology in order to describe basic things that happen in life. The mistake that he's making within his grift is that he's going to a men's platform where generally men leverage facts, data, and statistics in order to try to prove their points. He can go within female spaces and spit this shit, and they will worship the ground that he walks on in the form of donations for making them feel good about themselves within their situation, irrespective of the truth that can actually help them get better results in their life. This man is a Super Saiyan snake oil salesman. Let's keep going.
Okay. So, I mean, everything you said was just nonsense. It didn't make any sense. It didn't correlate to anything.
Which part?
And
Which
1
part?
plus
Which
1
part?
didn't add up.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't have any rebuttal to it. You just started speaking nonsense. But let me ask you a question.
I have to force myself to speak
Does
because you won't
one-
allow me to.
Does 1
You're
plus
asking
1
me
equal
another
2?
question. Yeah,
Does
I
1
think
plus
it
1 equal
equals
2?
one. No, one and one come together, they merge. That's one, right? Think about
Okay,
it, right?
god dang.
When
so
one and
Chad
one come together,
proves
they
my
merge,
point.
right?
The nigga don't know
Right.
what 1 plus
and
1 equals.
merge, right?
He said that 1 and 1 merges.
Put it together, they merge. One, right?
Oh,
if I come
God
together
damn.
with
He
a woman,
trolling.
don't I go into that woman? Don't me and
All
that
right.
woman go into each other? Now we won. I got my dick. You know, I ain't one. At the end of the day, what
So
you mean?
you got to
1 plus
watch
1
on your
equals
left
2?
hand. You got to watch on your left hand. If you
Right.
put another watch on your left hand, will you have 1 watches or 2 watch?
They're on the same hand. It's just one watch. If they put together, if you leave, they merge together. You see what I'm talking about? You want me to have
If you
two?
put the
Listen, I used to do a lot more in-person conversation with like people out in the public early in my YouTube career. You guys are going to understand the years that this shit takes off of our lives. I'm like, that's why I don't do it as much anymore, because I'm just like, listen, I gotta live a balanced life. You know what I'm saying? There's only but so much that I can give to produce content like this, where you have to put yourself in front of the audience of people with smooth ass brains like this. This is very draining. All right. So I understand what he's going through. Let's keep watching.
watch on a different hand, would you have 2 watches on you?
I don't know. If you take a man wig off, then would you be bald headed? I don't know, bro. We all got questions that they ask. I mean, shit. I mean, what you want to do? I don't
What?
know, bro. Is
I'm curious.
we on this build? Are we on this build or what? What we gonna do, bro?
This what we're gonna do, because I'm actually curious. Because the last people I had on here, I had 4 other people that had your same points of view, right? And now let's change up the dialogue a little bit, because I'm curious of knowing. I believe that you let me know if you don't believe that 1 plus 1 equals 2, but let me know if this makes sense to you, and see if we can come to agreement on something. That's what I want to get here. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Influence creates thinking. Thinking creates behavior. Would you say that that's true?
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. I want to know this because I spoke with, you're the 5th person I had on the podcast now that believe that the black woman is God, right? So since we know that, and you just confirmed that influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior, you have this, your mind frame of how you think. I want to know what influenced you to think this way.
It's
His mama.
knowing versus belief. Everybody believes in God. I know God. You see what I'm saying? Knowing is being able to have logic, evidence, and reason. You know it, just like your past experiences. I know my mother. So before I learned how to talk, before I learned how to walk, before I
don't know
taught
his
about
father.
my ABCs,
Okay, this
before I was
explains
taught about anything, my mother was there. Somebody had to
Yeah.
teach me, influence me, get me to think about a God that they wanted me to think about. But prior to that, my mother was my creator.
I was taking a guess that he was raised in a single parent household, but I'm really starting to think that the way that he is estimating all of the things that he said previously is really through hurt because his father was not there. Because within his own logic, how can he truly be worldly knowledgeable or wise if his father was not there? Oh, but his mother was there, and woman is God. Therefore, I have all of the knowledge.
So when you look at it, my mother was a black woman, and all black women are the manifestation of Mother Nature. I don't give a about a book in which you read, bro. Go to nature and look at it. That is the supreme
Got
map
you.
of things.
Clarence,
Everything in nature
one
is telling
second.
you.
Clarence, I seen that you.
You don't
real
have
quick.
to stop me, bro. You don't have to stop me.
No.
Every
Someone
fucking
came in
30
the chat.
seconds.
Clarence, I see you
don't
coming
have
in
to
here.
stop
Give it
me
2
every 30
seconds. I'll
bro.
add you
30
in after I
seconds.
have this discussion with him.
I get
Once
30
again-
seconds to speak, like every
Listen,
single
man,
time.
It's a
Is that what you
podcast,
feel?
and I had
You're
someone trying to
intimidated.
join the live stream.
You're intimidated, bro.
No,
That's
no, I
all
had
it
someone
is.
trying
You're
to join the live
intimidated.
stream.
You don't want to know. You do this for content.
Intimidated?
At the end of you're intimidated. It's got to be.
Come
if
on,
I can
man.
sit there and listen to you and you
man.
can't listen to me.
I mean, listen,
you
bro,
told
we
us
could-
about a
Watch his
pregnant
emotions.
male rat.
And
You
Timmy,
told us
bro,
the science
I
brought
do
about a
debates with
pregnant
men
male
in
rat.
person. You could come here in person. No one's intimidated, bro. No one's.
You gotta be.
No
It's
one
gotta
feels
be
like
something.
that.
Then
You could
why
have this
won't you let
discussion
me
in
speak the
person.
whole
The same way I'm
podcast?
conveying myself with you over here, it'll be
The
in
whole
person. And actually,
podcast,
it'll be
bro.
more
Listen,
intense.
y'all.
We said that influence creates thinking. Thinking creates behavior. You think that the black woman is God. I want to know what influenced you.
Looking for God.
Okay? Explain, elaborate. What did you
God
find that made you really think that the black woman is God?
My mother
Like
was
you-
in my
you-
face the whole time. She was in my face the whole time, and I didn't realize
okay.
that was God. So they told me that my mother, everything was outside of me. They told me that everything else was my mother. Everything else is God but your mother. And then you look at why they oppress every woman in religion. Christianity, their God says it's okay to rape a woman, defile a woman. Islam, they say it's okay to beat a woman. Allah is literally a lot. So they literally define everything in women. It's all about women oppression and for women not to realize that they are the true creators. That's why the patriarch took over. The patriarch literally took over the matriarch. The matriarch had always been in rulership. That's why they studied the goddess Hathor. They literally was with the queen of heaven in Jeremiah 44. They spoke about the goddess everywhere.
Got you.
was the
I
first
have another
deity
question for you,
that was
too.
ever worshipped. See, like I said, I get 30 seconds.
Oh, no,
So
you
don't
explained
really
it.
wanna
Now I
do
have
this.
another question for you.
See, I'm saying I wasn't done.
The young Hotep brother will soon show us why it is so dangerous for men to lead with female emotions. Because if you combine that with being a man, then you are a ticking time bomb. It is not your podcast. It is not your show. Show this man some respect. If he chooses to pause the conversation to address somebody, then let him do that. But let's see where this goes.
Oh,
That's what I'm
you have
saying. Let
more?
me know
Go.
how long I'll get. I mean, you just stopped me. You're going to keep doing it. So go ahead.
I mean, it's you
okay.
explained
It's
all the way
okay.
down to
Go
how it
ahead,
went.
bro. Go ahead.
Got
Go
it.
ahead, bro. Go
So,
ahead. Go ahead.
and also, I'll just give you the rules of the podcast. So get used to it. So guess what? This is called order, right? Men create order. This is my platform, so there's a hierarchy to things. It's my rules, so if I set the rules and you follow the rules, right? When you have your own podcast and you invite me on, you set the rules and I follow those rules. Life is in hierarchy. So I have a question for you.
So
You
then you
just
don't
said
want-
that
you
the
don't wanna hear it.
matriarchy. I have a question for you. Listen, you
Of course,
just said
you just
that
had
the
a question for me.
you just said that the matriarchy was taken over by the patriarchy. How can
Correct.
if the matriarchy is natural, right? It's a natural way of life. It's nature, right? You said the father doesn't come from nature, but the woman does come from nature. If that's the case, if the woman was first, you say that the woman is first. My question is, if the woman came first and you think the black woman is God, why is it that she's always being taken over by a man? Wouldn't
Who
you
said-
think? You just said that the patriarchy
okay. No,
always
no, no,
takes
no.
over
Before the patriarchy took over.
the
I'll let you
matriarchy.
finish. I'll let you finish so I can speak. Go ahead.
That's my question. You just said that the patriarchy always takes
I know
over
what
the
I said.
matriarchy. How can you say and even think logically that the woman came first if she's not strong enough to defend for herself? Answer it now.
Well, I'll calm down a little bit. Now, let me answer. In regards to the patriarchy taking over the matriarchy, it had nothing to do with strength. You have to understand that's brute strength. So what it was
God
the son
dang.
turned against his mother. The son literally turned against his mother. So instead of being the protector, the son became the predator. And then Christianity and all of these other religions were created to teach men that they were higher than women.
This is
How do you
crazy
think
as
the
hell.
oppression started, woman? They needed religious context to literally turn your man against you. You can look throughout all the religions.
Did you
and
ever
can
think
see
that the
when you were
woman,
governing.
that the
Can
man
you
is
shut
just
the
stronger
fuck
than a
up,
woman?
nigga?
Uh-oh.
Do you
God
ever
damn,
just think
bro.
that the man is
Nigga on
just
some
stronger
hoe
than a
shit.
woman
This
and
nigga
more
on some hoe
superior than a
shit,
woman?
man. You's a bitch, nigga. On my
Did you ever
mama,
think
you
that?
a bitch. Fuck
Say
wrong
that
with
to my
you, bro?
face, man. You welcome
I said
here. I
you's a
have you
bitch,
on.
nigga.
I have
don't
you
give a
on.
fuck where you at,
I have
nigga.
you
I
on,
don't give
bro.
a fuck. Smash the shit out your
Listen,
pussy ass.
actually, here's what
You's
I'll
a
do
little
for you,
bitch,
because
nigga.
I've been waiting
All
for
you
someone
do, all
like you.
do. Yeah, I'm right here.
I'll send
I'm
you
right
out here.
You's a bitch.
I'll send
Fuck
you
talking
out
about?
here, right?
Man,
I'll
the
send you
fuck
out
out
here.
here. What you Diddy now?
I'll
You
pay
Diddy?
for your ticket to come
Nigga
out here.
Diddy.
I'll pay
You know
for
what
your
I'm saying?
ticket to
What's
come
the
out
fight?
here and we can do this debate live in person. And I guarantee you won't have that energy in person. I guarantee you it. I had another man talk crazy just like you, but in person, he wasn't speaking that crazy. It was a entirely different story.
Bro, you can tell everybody in the room can see you a bitch, man. Everybody in the room can see you a little hoe, bro.
Now you're making ad hominems. No one made ad hominems about you. This nigga looking like a fake Drake over here, man. This nigga looking sweet as cheese. How you over here trying to act hard when you get your eyebrows done every day? This nigga looking sweet. This nigga sweet as pie with that little chain on.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
Nigga squinching his eyes. Nigga, what's in your eye? Why you keep squinching your eyes like that? Trying to have the light skin look. Yeah. Come on, bro. Calm down with all that, nigga. Let's have a regular discussion. You making that homineum a text. I ain't make none on you. You made them first. So we can either finish this debate.
Through the whole white boy, bro.
This guy said a white boy. Just because you can't articulate yourself. Just because you can't articulate yourself.
What the fuck is you talking about?
Doesn't mean that I'm a white boy because I can. That don't mean that, nigga.
Shame, insults, guilt, and the needs to be right. The tools of destruction of the modern woman today, or those that are coached by modern women. A black feminist so emotional and so confused, and now he glorifies women. But what happens when it comes to an emotional man when he cannot out-argue you? All of a sudden, he want to take it to fisticuffs. This sort of reminds me of this conversation of the fake alpha male on the Fresh and Fit stage. But gentlemen, listen to me. This is what happens when you release your seed in a 304 and you abandon your child. They become confused to the degree of not understanding their own power as a man. But great work on checking him. Let's keep going.
Chat is clowning you right now. But anyways, bro, here's what I'm saying, man. Everything that you said is all false because the root of it, the cause of it is false. The man is superior than a woman. Why doesn't a matriarchy?
If the matriarchy will always be in existence, it's just been hijacked by the patriarchy. You women still produce us. Can you just chill for a minute? Can you give me a little bit so I can talk to people to get them to understand why I'm coming from?
No. It ain't going like that. That isn't how this goes, bro. Because you're not answering questions, bro.
I'm tired of your questions. Just let me speak.
Listen, man, if you're tired of the questions, then you can hop off the stream, bro. You just speaking nonsense right now.
Frustrated. Like I said, you're intimidated. For you not to let me talk, but I'm over here.
Nigga, you look like a broke Drake, nigga. Who intimidated
you? I know, bro. You said that. You said that already.
No one said broke. That was different. See, you can't listen. You don't have good active listening skills, buddy. You don't have good active listening skills. Low IQ.
You got a man wig on.
Low IQ, man.
And you talking about Drake, man.
This nigga said a man wig, bro. My hair is just long, man. It's just
okay,
long.
Well, line that shit up. Mind your shit up. Mind your shit up. You see that shit?
Look at your headline, buddy.
You sitting there. Look at it. It's lined up, nigga. What the
your junk is crooked. Your junk leaning over here, bro.
All right, bro. All right.
Your junk tilted.
That's what we get.
Anyways, so
intimidation.
Like I said, there's a hierarchy. You started the ad hominems. I didn't start the ad hominems.
You don't want me to speak.
But here's what it is. It's a hierarchy to things. So if you don't want to follow the orders, you can hop off the stream or I'll kick you off the stream.
No, I don't understand. Man, you's a bitch anyway, nigga. You didn't want to do nothing anyway. You got your ass murdered over here. You got your ass murdered over here.
I mean, you believe that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2.
You call it whatever.
And
you
I already said we could have this live stream in person. And I trust you in person. You wouldn't have this energy. I'll literally fly you out.
I'll beat the fuck out you, bro.
I'll bring you out here, bro.
I'm not your little boy. I'm not your little toy.
I'll bring you out here.
You're talking.
I'll bring you out here.
Talking. We're talking.
Do you take my offer? I'll actually offer you. So this is what men do. This is what men do. Because let's see if you're really man of your word. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. Here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can have this debate in person. I'll put it on my word. If you really want to come out here, I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we could box. How about that? Let's do it. If you really feeling that, if you really feeling froggy, nigga, leap. I'll send you out here. I'll put that on my word. Right, and we got hundreds of people in here. No, you want to approve to that offer? If not, then shut up, nigga, and pay attention to the hierarchy. Here's the rules. So I'm gonna ask you questions, and then you're gonna listen, and you're going to answer these questions because you're just talking just to talk. Do you understand?
The ironic thing about this whole conversation is that although he thinks fatherhood is a social construct, the way that he's being taught to and taught order is exactly what he needed to hear his entire life.
Question here.
Little boy. You're a scary little boy,
cool, man. You still talking, bro.
A scary little boy,
question
man.
Here.
How can puss ass nigga?
You still
flying out a nigga and fighting. He's talking about flying me out. and trying to box
Listen,
and have a
my
debate.
finances is good.
What's wrong with dudes,
My finances is good. I've been waiting
What's
for
wrong
somebody
with 'em?
like you that's talking
We
spicy.
debate,
This is what I
nigga,
do.
I told you, you's a bitch,
This
man.
is what
and
I
you
do,
know
man.
you's a bitch. You don't do shit. You can tell you a white boy.
Well,
You a little white boy that like to play. You
I
like
see
to
that
do
you
this
ain't
little
want my
jokey
offer, but
shit.
listen, homie had to go. He just talking to talk. He talking silly. Chat, this is what we happen when you talk to feminine men and emotional men.
Listen, I'm going to end the content right here. Feel free to go click on the link down below to see the rest of this brother's thought. But I told y'all before starting this one was going to be absolutely insane. And it's incredible to think that this man 100% believes everything that he is saying. It's just so wild to me. This guy really said if he had a watch on his other hand, it would merge. But that's what happens when you're uneducated and you get up into your emotions and you are used to displaying your emotions in a fit of rage to get what you want. Shout out again to the No Fugazi podcast. That was an entertaining bit of content right there. Keep doing your thing, homie. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Sad when you go over content like this. You got to just think of like the state of the union, the state of the culture when grown men legitimately reject biology, reject science. For what? The conversation really should have been over, but I think it was good to continue to keep on going as a teaching lesson. Until next time, YouTube.